In this video, we're going to learn about display property in CSS and difference between inline, inline block and block. So let's get started.
You should take it slow.
Okay friends, first thing is every HTML element is a box on web page. It contains a default display value depending upon what type of element it is. That means all HTML elements by default will contain a display value that might be inline or inline block or block. Okay. Let's see what are inline elements. Okay, the first point here is doesn't start on a new line. That means inline elements will not start on a new line. Second point is only takes as much as width requires. That means inline elements take only width as much as they require. Third point is we can't set height, width and margin padding on top and bottom. Okay, we can't give height and width to inline elements. Along with that, we can't set padding top and margin top and bottom. And examples are span, image, anchor tag and strong. So these are some of the examples of inline elements. Now let's see that in practice. Okay friends, here I have taken 3 inline elements, 2 anchor tags and 1 span, and I have given them class logo1 and logo2. You can see them here. I am inline and I am inline 2. So these 3 are inline elements. So let's go to style.css. Here now let's style that inline element. So I'll come here. Let's give it width. Width will be 30 pixels. You can see that is not possible. Nothing is changing over there. And let's give it a height 30 pixels. You can see still nothing is changing. And let's give padding top and bottom. Padding top will be 30 pixels. You can see no effect. And padding bottom will be 30 pixels. You can see guys, when we give padding bottom, it is not taking space given to it in the document flow. Okay, it's like the padding does not exist and elements are appearing immediately after the first line. Okay, it means there is no padding actually. Let's try the margin now. Here I'll write margin top and that will be 30 pixels. You can see that is not possible. And margin bottom 30 pixels. You can see still we cannot see anything. So that means we understood that we cannot give width, height and padding, margin top and bottom to the inline elements, but we can give padding on left and right. Okay, you can see padding left as 30 pixels. Now it will take padding left as 30 pixels, and also we can give margin left as 40 pixels. You can see now it will take margin left as 40 pixels. Okay, like this we can give horizontal padding and margin but not vertical padding and margin. Along with that, not width and height. This is about inline elements. And one more thing, here after these 3 elements, even if you write 100 anchor tags, they will sit side by side. Like this, they will sit side by side. They will not take new line. They will not start on a new line unless space is completed in particular row. Okay, then only they will take second line, next line. But they will always sit side by side. That is the nature of inline elements. Now let's see what are inline block elements. So friends, inline block elements are also same as inline elements. They will not start on a new line. They will also sit side by side. But the only difference is we can give margin, padding vertically and horizontally and width and height. Okay, we can give anything we want. That is the core difference between inline block and inline element. And most importantly, remember that they will also sit side by side just like inline elements. But special thing is they have the ability to take width and height. So let's see that also in practice. So friends, here I have taken input and button. So these two are by default inline block elements. Okay. Now let's target that button and let's give it width and height. So I'll go to style.css and here let's target the button and let's see if that is going to affect or not. So I'll write here width as 200 pixels and after that let's give it a height and that will be 90 pixels. You can see friends, now the button got 200 pixel width and 90 pixels height. Okay. And let's do one thing, let's give it margin top as 30 pixels. Okay, and you can see now the button is margin top 30 pixels and after that let's give it padding top and let's take here 40 pixels. Okay, you can see now the content has taken padding top as 40 pixels. So here everything, whatever the properties we are writing, all that properties are affecting on that element, right? That is the special thing of inline block. But common thing is that inline block elements also sit side by side just like inline elements. That is a common thing. And special thing is we can give width and height. Let me show you that. Let's decrease its width to 100. Okay, and let's go to index.html and here let's take another input. I'll take another input and here I will write placeholder something like sign up. Okay, sign up. Now you can see guys, that sign up button also appearing on the same line side by side. Okay, it is not taking separate line, right? That is about inline block elements. Okay, now the last thing we have is block elements. So block elements are nothing but, first point is they always starts on a new line. Second point is takes up full width, can't allow other elements to sit next to it. So that means they will take entire available space in the document, and if you write any element after that, then that element should take a new line. Okay, they will not sit side by side. That is the nature of block elements. So these are the examples of block elements: div, h1 to h6, paragraph, link tag and section. These are all some of the examples of block elements. And you can see that in the diagram here, the first element is taking the entire width, and second one also, and third one also. But coming to fourth one here, we have given manual height and width. That's why it is half. Okay, but by default nature is they will take entire width. Okay, so let's see that in practice. Friends, you can see here I have taken 3 block elements. First one is div, and second one is paragraph, and third one is paragraph. And for this div I have given class as div1. Okay, so let's go to style.css, and here for the div1 class I have given border as 2 pixels, solid and spring green. Okay, now let's go to Google. So you can see guys, already that block element is taking its entire width. You can see this border, this box, because it is block element, that is why it is taking the entire available width on the web page. Okay, and all the elements that are next to that will sit on the new line. Okay, you can see this, I am para and I am also block lorem ipsum. So these 2 paragraphs are sitting on new separate lines. Okay, so that is the nature of block elements. By default they will take entire available space. Okay, now let's go to VS Code, and here let's give manual width and height. So I'll take width as 500 pixels and height will be, let's take 80 pixels. Okay, now let's go to Google. So you can see friends, now that block element has taken 500 pixel width and 80 pixel height. Okay, like this we can give manual width and height, and we can able to manipulate that elements. Okay, and along with that we can give padding as 30 pixels on all sides and margin as 30 pixels on all sides. Okay, let's go to Google. You can see now it has taken margin 30 pixels on all sides and padding 30 pixels. Okay, so that is about block elements, and this is the difference between inline block and block. Okay, now let's do something interesting. Let's go to VS Code, and here let's write display block. Okay, now let's go to Google. You can see nothing will happen because by default that is already block element, but let's change this to inline. Okay, let's change that to inline, and let's remove all these things. Okay, and now let's see what we'll get. Let's go to Google. So you can see guys, now that block element, instead of taking entire space, it went to the above line and it just sat beside the sign up button. Okay, that means now that block element is converted into inline element. That is why it is behaving as the inline element. So that's the reason it went to the top line and it sat beside the sign up button. Okay, and now we cannot give it width and height. Let's see that. Width is 300 pixels and let's give it a height something like 90 pixels. Okay, now these two things will not affect. So you can see guys, there is no effect on width and height because that element is inline element, but we can just give padding on left and right and margin on left and right. Okay, now let's do something. Let's convert that into inline block. So I'll write here inline and then block. Now let's see what happens. You can see guys, now that has taken into new line because here space is not sufficient. Remember I told you inline elements will keep on sitting side by side until the space is completed in a particular row. Okay, so here for this inline block element, here space is not sufficient. That is why it has taken a new line. Now this element is inline block. We have converted that into inline block. Okay, I hope you are following me. Now let's do something. Let's go to VS Code, and here let's target this pan element. Okay, this is this one. We are targeting this pan element now. Okay, and this is already inline. We all know that. So let's write here display inline, and let's go to Google. So you can see nothing is happening. This is still inline span element. So let's go back to VS Code, and here let's write display block. Now you will see something interesting. Let's close this. Let's go back. So you can see guys, now that span element became block element, and that is why it has taken a separate line and full width. This entire width is now taken by this block element. Okay, so that means now this is block element. It means we can give padding, width and height, right? So let's go back and let's write here margin top as 60 pixels, and let's give it a border, and that will be 2 pixels, solid something like red. After that, let's give it width. Width will be 500 pixels, and let's give it a height, and height will be 60 pixels. Okay, so let's see that now. You can see now it has got some margin top along with that 500 pixel width and 60 pixels of height. Okay, so friends, like this, now we can convert this inline element into block element or inline block element, and you can also give it width and height. So friends, like this, depending upon the use case, we can convert one type of element to other and give it styles. Sometimes we'll get like these situations where we have to convert inline element to inline block element and give it width and height. Okay, so in that cases we can use this display property and we can convert elements from one type to another. Now let me show you one last property, that is display none. That will delete element completely from the document flow. Okay, so here I'll write display none. That paragraph will be deleted. So you can see guys, now we don't have that paragraph. Okay friends, that is about display none and display property. I hope you have understood all these concepts. Guys, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.